And I am a New Haven resident rising to the 12th grade at Cooperative Arts and Humanities High School. When I was granted the opportunity to take part in the HJR Fellowship, I knew I wanted to focus my project on the harm that is done to women of color in the hands of white feminism. White feminism primarily focuses on white middle-class women and the issues that may arise within their community. Unlike common assumptions, it intertwines with white supremacy as it is used to wield more power over a community of white women while blatantly oppressing and opposing the voices of women of color for their benefit. Women of color are harmed by white feminists from dawn to dusk. You would think that they share similar needs such as equal child care, equal pay, and of course equal treatment. But white feminism doesn't aim for those same ideals. Instead, they harvest the perks and privileges that they have already obtained, going beyond the limits of general feminism. Rather than sharing the grounds for aspirations within the feminist community, white feminism blames incarcerated, queer, colored, and even poor women for simply not meeting the requirements when it comes to feminist goals. Being a woman is inherently a disadvantage when indulging in modern-day society, but women of color are treated like the bottom of the food chain. They are constantly attacked, ridiculed, and placed as a drawback, leaving them to fend for themselves. All women are women, but white women are seemingly content with their existing advantages, using any excuse to keep the lead that they have. After much deliberation, I decided to create my own podcast with the help of my mentor, Finn. She eased all my troubles with my project and helped make my vision come to life. My podcast goes by the name of Combined Women, the Virtues of Feminism. So, this being said, I hope you all enjoyed this little segment included in my first episode.
Who did you interview? Who did you interview?
Oh, sorry. For my first episode, I chose Jacqueline Jonah to interview. She was my former employer for a social justice program I was a part of last year. And I really look up to her. She's a very close peer of mine, so I tracked her down and I told her, I want to include you in my project. And she was delighted at the opportunity, so she goes.
See the first 5 minutes.
I sent a timestamp.
You know what time it is?
Let's see. 31:57, right to 35:24.
We're on good start checking too. I can't do no more.
So now, after that whole tangent, I want to go into our last question, which is, do you think white and women of color are inherent to their own form of feminism? Why or why not?
When you say inherent, what do you mean by inherent?
I would probably say, for example, white women.
Mm-hmm.
They are born as a white woman. Mm-hmm. So they're inherent to, certain subjects of feminism and certain roles, in the patriarchy, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So do you think those same roles and those same spaces apply to women of color as well?
Yeah, so this makes me think of a point that I made earlier, like just kind of certain things back in my head. I think that when I think of feminism as a whole, and I think of like the different sections of feminism and the different categories, like white feminism, black feminism, all different types of feminism, I think that we're looking at it from an individualistic lens. Mm-hmm. And I think there's room and space for different branches of feminism within it based on race, because we're currently operating under white supremacy. And so, I definitely think that I get why there's categories. I think that we should, as a whole, try to figure out ways to come together to fight those systems rather than fight each other. Right. And I think that the more that we have white women getting on board to other types of feminism and including other women of color, other BIPOC women, other trans women, just opening the umbrella and allowing, more people in, I think is where we all need to be.
Sort of like to piggyback off of where you mentioned, feminism in hindsight is an umbrella. I mean, it really just upholds various sections of its own society. And I say that to mention, these sort of like categories that fall under this umbrella. One out of few would be liberal feminism, which really just focuses on legal and political rights. But if you put that up against socialist feminism, it really sort of focuses on capitalism and the roots of women's oppressions. And I say this to sort of circle back to something that's been like spurring in my mind throughout our entire reporting, which is, women just deserve to have a united community. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, like women deserve to have a united community, a universal sisterhood.
Yeah,
Universal sisterhood is what I like to say.
Imagine if we really were able to get to a point where we could have that. Like,
I hope so. I hope so, especially with my generation. Like, we're starting up so many movements and we're already, marketing so much change. And I feel like it shouldn't just stop.
Yeah.
Especially with, all the work that's been going on in the feminist community. Like, there's still so much to be done. And I would hate to see, the idea of a universal sisterhood just be diminished because it's not something that necessarily looks like it should be prioritized. When, in reality, women are just all the same. We're all the same when it comes to our hair, when it comes to our nails, when it comes to our menstrual cycles. And, I mean, we, in our entirety, we're responsible for the population that surrounds us.
Okay.
We are.
Okay.
We're the bane of everyone's existence.
Okay, and the object of their desire.
Yes! Thank you! We're not even going to get it. So, thank you everyone. It's a little silly, but that's sort of the approach I wanted to take. So.